Hi, this is Josh Adams with Unueco Partio. Hope today you are doing well. I want to talk about identity. I think this will fit more within the holistic education part of, or at least the holistic education category. As you can tell, this is all unscripted. So, identity. Why do I want to talk about identity? I believe that identity is probably the most important aspect of how we organize the way we do, how we view ourselves, how we view others. And it's kind of like the foundation of unity and the foundation of conflict and disunity. So, like, what is identity? Like I just said, I am Josh. I think identity is really anything that that can be fulfilled with an I am statement. Like, there's aspects of identity that you're kind of born with, you have no control over, such as I am Caucasian. I have no control over that. There's types of identity that are heavily influenced or shaped by our environment, that we may have control over, but maybe not exercise that control, such as I am an American, or I am, well, there's a lot of different ways of I am. And then the other aspect is the things that we can control. And I think the key component of identity is what we choose to emphasize or what we feel is most important to us. Um, and the interesting thing about identity is that no matter what we emphasize, the whole totality of all the various identities that one person can have really does make a very unique person. I think the totality of my identities is just as unique as my fingerprints. So the cool thing about that, though, is no matter what, we always share at least one common identity, no matter who you are listening or wherever you are and whatever you do, is that I am human. That is the most common denominator that all of us have. And I think that if we start looking at the world and others, no matter how different they seem, I think if we start with that baseline that I am human, and perhaps recognize you are human, I think we have a strong foundation for unity. Now, how does this tie into education? I believe that we do not have enough education that teaches us the different types of identities that are out there, how to react to those differences, and also how to understand that someone's identity is their identity. You cannot tell another person, you are this. You can maybe try to shape or influence it, but when someone says, I am, then they are. And if someone has if your I am is different than the you are, that does not make one superior or inferior. You know, um, the world has a very, very difficult situation in trying to establish how can people who are different or have different identities, how can we establish their equality? Say for example, someone says, I am a doctorate, I am a doctor graduate. And then they're talking to someone who says, I am a high school graduate. How do we establish their equality? If we're only emphasizing just the educational aspect of one's identity. Or if someone says, I am Muslim, and then someone else says, well, I am Hindu. How does the Muslim and the Hindu reconcile that difference to understand that they are still equal, and that they are still at least equal in their humanity? I think this is one of the greatest challenges that we face. And I think throughout our politics, our organization, even our family dynamics, this is the greatest source of conflict that we ever have. Wars are fought over identity. People are banished from their families over identity. And sometimes those identities are based on, those aspects that you cannot control. And some of those are based off of your free will decisions. One of those things you can't control, like I am a cancer patient. People will react differently to you if you say that. If you say, I am homosexual, whether or not you agree that is a choice or that is something you were born into, people will react differently. So that's the other thing that we need to be aware of. Whether you have this idea of who's superior, or how am I superior, or how is another inferior, even if you don't even consciously compute that, start to think about how you do think about those identities. So you go into to a neighborhood that has a reputation of having high crime. You see someone walking in that neighborhood and you say, you are a criminal. Do you just start assigning identities and making judgments, start changing the narrative? So I find there is great opportunity in our educational systems to have curriculum that includes identity and all the aspects of it. What do you think about this? Do you think that identity is important in shaping what we do, collectively or individually? Do you think identity could be successfully part of the educational system? Do you believe that we can reduce conflicts based off of identity if we have a better educational system? Share with me your thoughts. And I do hope that in the future, as as various issues come up, whether it's in the news or whatever, I can continue having discussions about identity. Feel free to go onto the Unueco Partio forum, and you can introduce yourself. You can maybe share some identities that are important to you. You don't have to share your name. You can share, things, anonymously, if you prefer. Share things that are important to you. I think the combinations that we will discover within this worldwide community I hope to build will be something that we can embrace. I thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.